This is Public Economics 101, a program dedicated to deciphering some of the major topics in economics today. Today, we are going to discuss market failures. Market failures are situations that result in inefficient outcomes that can lead to a lower total social welfare for society. One of the major topics discussed in economics is the issue of positive and negative externalities. An externality is the effect on a third party that was not taken into account when a decision was made. A very good example of a negative externality is pollution. For example, say we have an industrial plant that uses a nearby river to dump its waste in, and also assume that a family lives downstream and uses this river for fishing, swimming, etc. If the factory continues to produce and dump its waste in the river, it will become unsafe to use recreationally, which hurts the utility and or happiness of the family downstream. The decision of the factory to dump the waste doesn't account for what the family wants. The good news is there is a solution. Using a marginal cost and marginal benefit curve and the Coase theorem, which states that there is an equilibrium between the factory and the family that can be reached in order to solve this negative externality, regardless of property rights. The one condition is that each must be able to bargain with relatively low transactions costs. Now, as with most things in economics, there are two sides to the story. Positive externalities exist in the market as well and present an interesting dilemma. Consider this scenario. You live in a very nice suburb outside of Little Rock. One thing that you pride yourself in is the appearance of your home and neighborhood. Now, imagine Bubba moves in next door, and he doesn't necessarily care about how pretty his yard looks or how many flowers he has planted. In this case, your utility could be maximized if Bubba would plant a few more flowers, and his would not decrease, so there is obviously a better solution. Using the same graph and the Coase theorem again, it is easy to show how a better outcome can be reached and made possible. Another very common market failure that arises in economic discussion is the presence of monopolies. A monopoly arises when a firm has exclusive control over the market supply of a good or service. As you can see, using the infamous supply and demand graph, it is easy to show this and how it leads to an inefficient outcome. The market wants to be producing at the intersection, but the monopoly produces where its marginal benefit would be maximized. This leads to deadweight loss. Now, as you can see, there is profit that is made by the monopoly for having monopoly power. Using that profit, they can rent seek. Rent seeking involves a firm using resources to obtain an economic gain from others without reciprocating any of those benefits back to society. Rent seeking can be a major roadblock preventing the market from dissolving a firm's monopoly power because government intervention may be needed but isn't likely when lobbying occurs. There are many market failures that exist in our world today, but it is important to grasp the major issues that most people already have a simple understanding on in order to build a base that allows you to connect to people and then expand upon the many market failures.
I'm Tasha Strickland, and on this project I wrote the introduction for our video and did a little bit of research and compiled our resources and our works cited.
My name is Jeremy Doremus, and for this video, I compiled the script and did the hand drawings.